For me, growing up, I started struggling with temptation when I was about 14 years old. And at first I didn't really know how to deal with it. I knew that it was bad, something that I needed to keep a secret from people because I felt so much shame around it. So I tried to talk about it with my parents. They didn't really seem to know what to tell me. So it was really something that I dealt with on my own for a long time. I had been taught growing up that Jesus cared about me and cared about what I was going through, but struggling with lust just made me feel so dirty and isolated that my faith was really rattled by it.
Started when I was like a little kid, but it was the worst, in 2014 to 2018, like early 2018. The darkest part of it was where I was watching pornography 3 to 4 times a day, and at one point I had considered going to one of the bigger cities, Richmond, DC, whatever, and buying a hooker.
My parents were Christian, and as I grew up in a Christian family and a Christian environment my entire life, there was a lot of things that I think I was denied in many ways. I really didn't have a lot of men other than my dad to mentor me or grow me in a church capacity. What that kind of led to was a fear and a misunderstanding of myself. When I was in high school, I stumbled upon pornography and the video and pictures and all those different things, and honestly, from that point, it was an addiction.
Proven Men was something that I had heard about because of friends who worked there, who had gone through the study, mostly friends who were a little bit older than me. I felt like just had a better grip on their faith, on dealing with temptation. It just always felt kind of like I was an odd one out, like it just wasn't going to work for me, like maybe the Lord had given up on me.
It got to the point where I was getting super tired of this lifestyle. I knew I had felt a conviction from the Holy Spirit that this is wrong, this isn't right. And so my uncle, Bill, he was saying, you need to do something about this.
There was a lot of loneliness when it came to relationships and not really always being able to find a place. And that loneliness would always manifest itself into locking myself in rooms and just finding something to release frustration or something to release loneliness in that capacity. Before the Lord put Proven Men into my life, I had never opened up to people besides my parents about this addiction. Oftentimes when I would tell friends about it, they would be disgusted. I even had one friend just go, "What the heck? Why can't you get over this?"
And it just didn't seem like I had what it took. And I think that was the lie for a long time that the enemy used to keep me discouraged and keep me living in a mindset of defeat, was that I just didn't have what it took.
There was nights that I honestly wanted to commit suicide over this. It was difficult and it was hard to deal with because in my mind, I was making my parents mad. I was making them feel ashamed of me, and I was making God feel ashamed of me. It was not until I heard my Proven Men leader and the scriptures that he pointed us to that I honestly believed that God's love was unconditional.
Admitting your weakness is one of the biggest things that you can do to surrender to the Lord and to essentially give him permission to start a healing work in your life.
I reached out to my buddy Greg, who is an acquaintance I'd met from a house church. And so I reach out to him and say, "Hey, you're part of this Proven Men group, right?" And so that kind of started my trajectory with Proven Men.
At the end of the day, what I really found was that God was going to use my testimony in spite of my weakness and how much discouragement and defeat I had felt to set other people free. And one of the things that he's always led me to do is be open and transparent. And that's one of the just like trademark aspects of Proven Men that I really love, is being open and honest. That's something that's brought so much healing and freedom into my life.
So some of my favorite things about the study is that, first off, your partner, they will love you. They're essentially a brother, and though you may not know them super well at first, you grow into that relationship. It grows into like a real brotherhood, to where you're comfortable enough to say, hey man, I had a setback this week, I'm still struggling with this, whatever. And they love you, and they show gentleness and kindness to you and support, and they just lead you into purity.
As I move away from Proven Men and as I'm looking into stepping into my own life afterwards, I am finding myself changing the way that I think about things. When I am angry, when I am lonely, when I am frustrated, I take a moment to think to myself and say, why am I feeling this way? What is the Lord trying to say here? What are the results that I can think of here? What are ways that I can help this? I'm not always successful, but the moments that I am are these moments when the Lord reveals amazing things in my life. Our walk with this sin is not alone. One, we're walking with the Lord. The Lord is over us. The Lord is with us. And in those moments, we have to turn to Him. But at the same time, we have to turn to other men in our lives.
I'm grateful for the ministry, and I'm so thankful to God for setting me free from stuff that I never thought I'd have freedom from. If He can do it for me, He can do it for you too.
My name is James Williams.
My name is Joshua Sawson.
My name is Nathan Munson.
And I am a proven man.
And I am a proven man.
And I am a proven man.